me, Dattatreya and Parshuram, something like that, is it? Supreme Divine Person. Okay. Yeah, the mission of man is to know the Supreme Divine Person. That is basically the motivation of every human being. Okay, Senthil has joined. Good morning, Senthil. So the mission is to actually know the Supreme Divine Person. But as we get entangled into the material world, we forget the divine call that we are supposed to have, and we get entangled in our daily affairs, and because of which we completely forget why we are here. So the mission of man is definitely to know the Supreme Divine Person. How does man know that is his mission? See, today morning I was just writing about this, the water and all. I think you also commented on that. Water per se is like, and I am calling it water, but it can be water vapor, it can be water, it can be clouds, it can be anything. So the water gets cycled from top to bottom like that. Let us say it is evaporated from the sea or the ocean, goes as a water vapor, it goes into the clouds get filled up, and then they bring rain. It comes in the form of rain, hailstones, snow or whatever, and then when it comes down, it may go in your house, it may go into the land, it may fall wherever people drink water, then water is thrown out. Finally, in some way or the other, it is becoming some sort of a body which is like an ocean. Again the cycle starts. So which one is the true body that it would be having? There is no true body anywhere. Whatever place that it falls, it becomes that. Let us say, for example, water which is falling into a small, let us say it is collected in a bottle. When it is collected in a bottle, we will call it bottled water. Suppose it is becoming a glacier, and the glacier is melting in the Himalayas, and then it becomes a small river. Then it may become a small lake, it may become a sea, it may become an ocean. See, we are not calling it water anywhere. We are saying it becomes an ocean, becomes a sea, becomes a pond, becomes a lake, it becomes a cloud. So what is this it that becomes a cloud? So finally you will come to know that the shape of that object is the decisive factor for what it is. So if it is a small collection, a small place, then you would call it a pond. Suppose it's a big sea, then it would be called it's a sea, or otherwise it would be called as an ocean. Whichever place the collection happens, it may be collected in a vessel. One second. Whatever shape that the body takes is the shape which we say as an animal. Suppose the body takes the shape of a horse, then you will say he is a horse. Or this divine person takes a shape of a man, then he would be called a man. A human being, he will be called a man. So it's the shape which defines that particular it, that, or whatever you want to call it. Now if you look at it from the point of view, we are supposed to overcome this, because you are not the shape. You are that divine person that is there in that body. So we cannot say that this particular body is the full and the final one. Correct? So you may be in the form of an animal, you may be in the form of a bird, you may be in the form of a human being. It's not the end by itself. All right. So yes, it's transient. Then how to know what is the true calling and what is exactly the reason why you are here? First, let us see from the ancient sages' point of view. Now, the Vedas and the Shastras that have been written so many thousands of years ago, they have done the research. They have they have given their understanding. From their understanding, it is mentioned in literally every spiritual text that the main reason why a person becomes a human being is to know God alone. That's it. Beyond that, there is no other reason. Then, this is the first. Second one is to know the true self. Know who you are. You are not the vessel. You are not a body called, yes, you are not a human body. Then who are you? The next question that you got to answer is who are you? Who are you is the next question. So you try to find out that answer. Again, it is there in the spiritual texts. Find out who you are. So you have to go to the next stage where you have to find out who you are. Then, if you know the next stage, which is who you are, then you have to find out who is the one who made you. Again, the answer would be the Supreme Divine Person or Brahma, whatever that you wish to say. You can call this body made by Prakriti. So everywhere the differences are there. Now, just a few days ago I was talking to someone. At that time I said that the initial stage, the number one where we started, the religion started, it was a whole gamut of all things. Literally the whole thing put together. Okay. Beto, can you hold on for a minute? I will shift the whole thing and then I'll put the board behind me. Otherwise I will... Huh? See, I was discussing with somebody a few days ago. When the original religion started, how did it all begin? It began by having, first, if you remember, okay, 1 second. Alright. First, when it began, if you remember, we had the entire Rishi Munis, the realized beings, right? The realized beings is what? So they knew, what are the things that they knew? The things that they knew was second divine manifest or unmanifest. Okay? Though dumb. Then they knew the first divine unmanifest and they knew the first manifest. Correct? They knew all these three. So if you look at the first religion, that is the first few people in this universe that came in at the beginning of time, they had the complete knowledge about this. Then what happened? Then as yugas went by, you will find that somewhere down the line, Egyptians, Mayans, all kinds of civilizations came in. Right? If you look at their civilization, what were they talking about? So first one was this. Second, we can say
is a real religion which means established religion would be Buddhism, isn't it? Now Buddhism remove the first portion from it. They said the divine unmanifest. Okay, the divine unmanifest and then the manifest. So their religion stopped short of this over here. And the moment you get dissolved in it, the moment a person is dissolved in it, at that time what happens? He doesn't get to see anything beyond. Then we come to the third. Christianity. What was Christianity talking about? God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. But what was being taught to everybody was there is a heaven and there is a hell. So where do the heavens and the hells come? Only in the manifest domains. So it stops short of manifest. Why does it stop short of manifest? Because as human beings became more and more evolved in our material realm, they became completely unknowing of the unmanifest. So the unmanifest was never known to anybody. Even later religions, there were many other religions which came up after that, and so on and so forth. Now there are Zen plus some other. There are so many other types which have come up. They are falling short of that there is a place that you, after you die, you go to a particular realm, and then you get, and then there is no returning back.
Jainism is also number 2.
Yeah, Jainism is also over here. There is no God in that religion. Here, God lost his complete ability. These are all atheistic religions. That means Buddhism and Jainism are completely atheistic in nature. So there is no such thing as a God. That is why I said there is no supreme divine person in their religion at all. There is no supreme divine person. You believe in Buddha. Buddha is the person who has reached the state of nirvana. He is dissolved completely. Dissolved, where does a person get dissolved? Only in the Brahma, isn't it? So the religion stopped over here. So as you go downwards, as we come today what is the religion? You will find, today's date, the religion is all about yogasan, pranayam and all those things in the world. So you do yogasan, you go for retreats, you go to church, you go to temple, you give this, you give that. So spirituality stops short of everything in this world today. Now if you want something, you have to fight for it. You have to kill your brother. You have to kill, you have to get. This is what the whole world has come to today. So you can see the complete deterioration from top to bottom has happened. So today, even if I say the real reason for everybody's birth over here is to reach the state of the divine unmanifest or the divine supreme divine person, nobody will want to know that. Because everything in this world is on the path towards what is it that I can get and how do I get it and what is the easy way out. So every time when somebody asks me what are you doing, so I say I am a spiritualist. So the first question they will ask is, oh, you will teach yogasan and pranayam. I mean, according to today's day and age, it has come to see, even in the manifest, you want benefits. The manifest is all about benefits. How much you can get from it, what you can get from it. And what is all about yogasan and pranayam? It is all about trying to get something or the other. It's all about powers, it's all about getting something. So Padma, the answer to your question is, though the real reason why we are here is to be understood, to know the Supreme Divine Person, but where are you actually? You are in the Kali Yuga. So in the Kali Yuga, even if you tell them that there is a second unmanifest and this happens and that happens, they will give you a very strange looks and they will wonder what you are talking about. You see, religion means going to church or temple or masjid or all those things and then trying to get some benefits. That is all that today it is all about. I give this, so I should get that. So in the Kali Yuga, there is no such thing as any spiritual power remaining in people, and the main reason why they should be there for reaching that supreme divine person doesn't exist. But the real reason is you have to go there. Why you are born over there. So, is there any other question there? No. Is it? The fan. My fan is over here. The pedestal fan is not here. It's far away. Maybe there is a lot of disturbance in the system over there. You know. No, you just put it steady in your place and just tap it behind. Bas. Yeah. Is that okay? Okay, good. So we were in chapter 16, is it? Is there any other question? Santil, Brito, anybody? No question. No?
Guru,
Tell me.
so we we can get this conceptual knowledge, right? But still, the real understanding of Krishna is not going to come, right? So how this transition happens? Though we might know theoretically,
This is all theory, yes, of course.
so the practical thing.
Yeah. Practical, that is the problem. It is called sadhana. This is the most important word that is there. Sadhana. Sadhana is something which talks of the various steps that you got to do to reach the state of this supreme divine person. Okay. Actually, Shivji is teaching his wife that in the R.R. Mahadev serial. I mean, when you look at it from that point of view, you will wonder, why does a Devi like Parvati have to do all these things? Let me tell you this. The moment you are born, the moment you take birth, I said no, the water taking a form, it comes with its impurities of the form. Associated with the form, the impurities are there. That means, let us say, water from the clouds is falling down in a gutter. Will it have the qualities of a gutter or no? So it will become like a gutter water, but it has to then purify itself. So purification is a must, and that is the reason why we have to do the sadhana. Sadhana is like the water has to be heated to a certain degrees temperature, and then only it will rise up into the air as water vapor. Correct? So the sadhana is important. And there are various steps that you need to do in the sadhana. If you go through various texts, you will say yama, niyama, all those, I'm sure you have learned about it. Pranayam, so on and so forth. You finally reach the state of samadhi. It is like, going from here to United States. You need to chase so many planes. And maybe, you have to go through so many, security channels and so on and so forth. So it's like that. You have to go through the steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, like that. Even the idea that you have to pass in your final examination at post-graduation or graduation level. Do you know how much study you have to do? You know how much time you have to spend on your books, on your notes, on going for classes, doing your experimentation, your practicals, your theory, how many things you have to do. And maybe you don't sleep also at night. You have to keep on reading, continuously solving issues, problems, so on and so forth. Finally, in the end, you will become a graduate or a postgraduate, and maybe you will get in honors or something like that. You will get a gold medal from the university, God knows what all. Now, how much effort have you put in that? A terrible lot of effort. I mean, the effort is phenomenal. Now think about it. In your today's day and age, how much time does a person actually spend on spiritual? Forget about getting up in the morning. एग्जामिनेशन रहता ना या फ्लाइट पकड़ने का रहता ना, बराबर 3 बजे 4 बजे उठ के है ना वो काम करने को लगता. लेकिन to get up in the morning is a big pain. अलार्म बजेगा, फर्स्ट अलार्म बजेगा, सेकंड अलार्म बजेगा, थर्ड अलार्म बजेगा, थर्ड अलार्म भी बंद करके सो जाएगा. Think about it. Why? Because it is not important. So what is the point in meditation? Oh, anyway, I'm going to just sit in one place and or something like that I'm going to do. What is the big deal in that? I don't have to do all that. Pranayam. Okay, I can sleep and do my pranayam and do. And goes like that. The pranayam becomes a snore very soon. So there is no sincerity in today's day and age. To even reach the state of this divine person, you need the sincerity. Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to say, the way you cry for your mother or the way you cry for your child or for your husband or for your wife, you have to cry out like that. For this, to see Krishna, to see this divine person, you have to cry out like that. Your body has to tilt only towards him. Your mind, body, soul, everything is to be lost in him, merged in him. Only then can you see. Who says you can't see? Swami Vivekananda was the follower of the Brahmo Samaj. And they never believed in a God with form, by the way. They all believed with formless form, in the formless God, which is the reason why the Brahmo Samaj was there. So one day somebody tells him that you should go and visit this particular person in Dakshineshwar, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So he goes to visit Ramakrishna Paramahansa. And the question that he asks the first time he goes is, have you seen God? And Ramakrishna says, yes, I have seen God. So he says, oh, acha, you are the first person who is telling me you have seen God. The rest, everybody whom I asked, nobody said that they have seen God. So can I see God? So Ramakrishna ji says, of course you can see God. But you have to cry like I cry for him. You have to have that spiritual fervor in him to see him, to experience him, to understand him. And then when he goes through a complete state of dispassion, Vivekananda goes through a complete state of dispassion. He doesn't even know what he's eating, drinking, going about here and there. He has absolutely no clue. He tries to take up a job, but he can't take up a job. He goes 1 day, 2 days and disappears after that. Ramakrishna ji himself says, okay, I will tell some people over here and give you a job. And every person who comes for the satsang with Ramakrishna ji, he would ask, see, I have a very nice person, his name is Narendra. So can you please give him one job? And those people used to say, of course, we will give a job. And there were judges and so on and so forth. Big people were there with Ramakrishna ji. So they would say, can you please send him over? One person even said, he can marry my daughter. I am a rich man. No. So he went through a complete state of dispassion in his life. where the only thing that for him was, who am I? Who is this God? I want to meet him. This is all the questions that were there in his mind. And he had to find the answers. One day he goes to Ramakrishna ji and says, see, I have thought about all these things. I have decided that I need a job. So, can you please give me a job? So Ramakrishna ji says, see, I have told everybody, but my suggestion to you is don't ask me. You ask my boss over there. Kalima is there. You go and ask Kalima whether she can give you a job. And Vivekananda says, but what Kalima? I don't think there is anybody over there. He says, no. I'm telling you, I'm here only. Go and ask her. She will be there. She will be there only. And Swamiji goes over there. Narendra goes over there to meet Ma, but he's very skeptical about it. He's bothered. His motivation is what? I want a job, so I'll go and ask. The motivation of every person is there, that they have personal wants and needs and desires. So that is the reason why they want to see God. For no other reason. Like last week I went to see some Babaji. In that Babaji's place, they open the door and the first thing is, तुम्हारी मन्नत क्या है? मतलब मेरी मन्नत, बोला तेरे बाबाजी को ऊपर भेजने की मेरी मन्नत है, चलो. नहीं, मेरी मन्नत कुछ नहीं है. बोले तुम्हारी कोई मन्नत होगी तो जाके है ना वो जो दरगाह है ना उसके 4 चक्कर लगा दो, तुम्हारी मन्नत पूरी हो जाएगी. मैं बोला मेरे को कोई मन्नत वन्नत नहीं है. वो शाहरुख खान के पास ऐसे. It's a joke, sorry. So the thing is, everybody has their needs and wants and desires. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. So Swamiji goes over there. He's not Swamiji at that time, he's Narendra. So Narendra goes over there, and he goes to the temple and he stands in front of Ma. And finished, he sees Ma over there as a huge effulgence of light. Only the light, only light, only light. Bolti ban. Silent. After a few minutes, he comes down and then he again goes back to Ramakrishna ji. Ramakrishna ji is, in the veranda, he is going up and down. He asks, Acha, did you ask Ma about that job of yours? No. What nonsense. You should have gone and asked her. No, she came in front of you. Go, ask once again. 3 times he sends him over there. 3 times he sees Ma over there. Can't say a word in front of Ma, by the way. Please understand, when you get the divine call, when you get the divine darshan of the Lord, there is no way your mouth will ever open and say something. Because it is impossible to ask for anything. So, maybe you should carry your iPad or your calculator or maybe something, what do you call that? Your voice machine or something, ask. But you can't ask. Believe me, there is no way in which you can ask. And if it is a petty desire, then like I showed you, you can go to this neighboring temple, बाजू में है तुम्हारा, उधर जाने का बोलने का, बॉस मैं तुमको 1 किलो पेड़ा देता हूँ, तो मेरे को है ना 10 लाख रुपया देना. वो बोलेगा अच्छा ठीक है, सैंक्शन, चलो. बाय द वे, आफ्टर तुमको 10 लाख मिलने के बाद है ना, वो तो क्या बोलेगा, वो तो खाली पेशगी थी, फर्स्ट इंस्टॉलमेंट. अभी तुमको देने का है 10 का है ना, 100 देने का है तुमको वापस. So I hope you understand that it is possible for you to reach that state of the divine, provided you follow the path of the sadhana. You need to have very, very disciplined life, first and foremost. Somebody asked me a question, why do you want to start an ashram or something like that? I said, एक तो तुम लोग सवेरे उठते नहीं हो, वहां पे घंटी नहीं, सर के ऊपर पानी डालेगा ठंडा, बोला चले उठो, जल्दी से उठो. Even in the Himalayas, when you go to some of these ashrams, 3:30 they will wake you up, and then you have to sit in that cold outside over there, and you have to do your meditation and all those things. Oh my God! So you need some discipline, no or no? So that to do the sadhana is very important. And then everybody joins at their own sweet time for satsang, no? उधर वैसा नहीं है. उधर गुरु जी आके बैठने के पहले सब बैठना पड़ता है. तो बैठ गए तो फिर वहाँ पे फिर वो डिस्कशन चल रहा है. And it's like a boarding school, boarding school. एक डायरेक्शन में जाने का, खाने का टाइम पे खाना खाने का, सोने का टाइम पे सोने का. Everything is discipline. So the most important aspect of an ashram is to put discipline in people, so that they can focus their life towards the spiritual. Here you are bothered, अरे आज सब्जी नहीं लाया, कल ये नहीं लाया, परसों वो नहीं लाया, I have to go to the supermarket, I have to do this. Oh my God, I have not paid the electricity bill, I have not paid the telephone bill. आश्रम में तुमको क्या टेलीफोन बिल भरना पड़ेगा? तुम्हारा टेलीफोन ही नहीं रहेगा उधर. समझ में आया? The reason why this is because you don't have to bother about खाना किधर से खाएंगे. तुम्हारा टाइम पे खाना आता है, टाइम पे सब होता है, सोने का भी टाइम पे, उठने का भी टाइम पे, सब नियम से चलता है. नियमा. Got it? So everything happens in a very, very systematic way, and that is the reason why the ashram is a necessity. Otherwise, it is impossible to focus on our world. In our day-to-day life, we are bothered about even the stupidest things in the world. Okay? वहां पे जाके ये नहीं पूछेगा, और सब जन एक टाइप के कपड़े पहनते. राज, designer wear. We will ask some great designer to design the wares also. Don't worry. वो एक ही टाइप के कपड़े पहनते. So the question also you won't ask, where did you buy this? वो भी नहीं पूछ सकता. और here only in the ashram shop करके बोलना पड़ेगा, दूसरा कुछ नहीं. गुरुजी gave it to me. So orange color dhoti. Imagine, Victor, very orange color dhoti. My God. Okay, so yeah. So can we start now, or is there any other question? Senthil, did I answer you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, any other question? No? So can I? Yeah, Padma, you are writing something, is it? No? Okay, so can I continue then? We are doing chapter 16, I believe. 16 verse 1, isn't it? Absolute fearlessness, perfect purity of the mind, constant fixity in the yoga of meditation for the sake of self-realization, and even so charity in its sattvic form, control of the senses, worship of God and other deities, as well as one's elders, including the performance of Agnihotra and other sacred duties, study and teaching of the Vedas and other sacred books, as well as chanting of the God's name and praises, suffering hardship for the discharge of one's sacred obligations, and straightness of mind, as well as the body and the senses. It's a long list, isn't it? It's a very big list. But I think you all are on mute. So that is the reason why. Now imagine you have to go through all this and then think about it. And you are going to report to me. Absolute fearlessness. From tomorrow you are going to become a tiger. Or today only, sorry. Yours is morning, no? From today you are going to become a tiger. Perfect purity of the mind. बोला एंजेलिना जोली कितनी चिकनी दिखती है, ये नहीं बोल सकते उधर. प्योरिटी ऑफ माइंड होना जरूरी है. What is the purity of the mind? See, a mind is full of all kinds of things in our world. We are gathering kachara like nobody's business. Have you ever been to a restaurant where they are doing the that atta for the idli? Huh? Have you seen that place? After they remove the atta from idli, they take one big jhadu and they put water in that and like that and pour that thing out. And imagine you are going to eat that damn thing only. And then they put the next round of something in that. Or if you have gone to any of these darshinis, no, they have that idli का एक वो ऐसा स्टीमर देखा है ऐसा वो फ्रिज के जैसा दरवाजा रहता है ऐसा खोल के वो लोग है ना ट्रे निकालेगा बाहर उसमें से डिंग 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 करके वो इडली डालेगा और वही गंदे कपड़े के ऊपर है ना दूसरा राउंड डालते कभी देखा है और फिर वो वापस आता डिंग वो कपड़ा धोते हैं कि क्या करते हैं पता नहीं बट इडली टेस्ट नाइस So imagine our mind is like this idli ka kapda. We are gathering so much of kachra every single day about everything in our world. You know what all we gather? किसी ने कुछ बोला, किसी ने कुछ कहा, कुछ देखा हमने टीवी में भी देखा. Now you are watching a serial, Saas Bahu serial or some bullshit serial that is being going on. And then those ideas come in mind. Dayan देखा मैंने. अरे the next door neighbor will look like Dayan to you. Imagine the amount of kachra that you carry, okay? And you keep on watching, you keep on seeing, your senses are gathering all sorts of places, everything. Oh, he called me this, today. अच्छा बोला वो एक को पैसा देने का था दूसरे ने लाके देने का था दिया ही नहीं मालूम है तेरे को I asked somebody you told me you were going to come here 2 weeks ago what happened Guruji I have to collect some money from somebody that person is not giving me last 2 weeks he is not giving so I can't come बोला क्या बात कर रहे पैसा नहीं दिया इसीलिए नहीं आने का उसका और इससे क्या संबंध आता है I mean think about it somebody not paying you money, what has that got to do with your spiritual world, boss? Nothing, but the person is still telling me like that. The connectivity is not there, okay? But imagine if it is your own child's parents' day or annual day function. Office में भी डांडी मारेगा कुछ तो भी बोलेगा नहीं तो PTA meeting has anybody attended PTA meetings for PTA meeting क्या dues देना पड़ता है मालूम है and the teacher also says if you don't attend we will fail your child कर लो बात क्या काम से और fail नहीं करते लेकिन वो थोड़ा हुल देना पड़ता है तो आते आदमी the person will come only if you are given a little bit of bamboo otherwise no so here in Satsang also maybe I'll have to start something I'll fail you tomorrow if you don't come so it's like that. So think about it. The kachra that we gather, everything in our world is full of this. Every moment of our life we are gathering this dirt from everywhere. And the moment we gather the dirt, the mind becomes unclean. Just like that idli ka kapda in the next door darshini. Never gets cleaned. And please don't ever enter their kitchen. After that you will stop going to all these darshinis. Have you ever thought why does the chutney taste like urid dal? I mean urid ka atta. Have you ever thought about it? I have always thought. And one day I saw what they did. वो इडली जिसमें पीसते हैं ना उसमें वो चटनी डाला ढंग करके मैं बोला वो इडली को चटनी का चटनी को इडली का टेस्ट नहीं आएगा नहीं तो और दूसरा क्या आएगा So one day I had a Shetty friend in Mumbai. I asked him, why are you doing like this? बोला यार बॉस पानी नहीं मिलता है कैसा धोएगा मैं अच्छा सेकंड बोला इडली में ही डाल के खाने का है ना। वाह वाह, तुम्हारा एक्सप्लेनेशन बहुत अच्छा है। बोला इडली ही उसमें डाल के खाने का है ना, तो बनाएगा तो क्या होता है उसमें। Great explanation. And yeah, so you can imagine all this dirt we gather from this universe. So perfect purity of mind is required. We need to have absolutely clean and pure mind. No thoughts, no extensions, no such thing as crap that we gather from our world, nothing like that. Constant fixity in the yoga of meditation for the sake of self-realization. Single pointedness. What is the single pointedness? I want to reach the state of the self. That is all. Okay? I just want to know the self. दूसरा कुछ नहीं. बोला Guru, can I just go to the loo and come? Yeah, don't worry. I will go over there with my fixity over there and I'll come back. बोला boss, ऐसा fixity होता नहीं है. Fixity of mind का मतलब एक ही है, एकाग्रता. Have you ever heard of this word एकाग्रता? Single pointedness. Then the question will come, so you mean to say I should not go to the lua? I haven't said like that. You know what is very simple and understood? The senses work within the sense organs. So don't bother about it. They are working. The sense objects are there. They are going to do that. मतलब imagine करो तू एक जगह पे बैठ के है ना. Okay. All right. 1 second. That is yes. Guru is joining. So single pointedness means this. The eyes are anyway going to be open, are they not? Yes. You are going to be breathing or no? Yes, you are going to be breathing. Good afternoon, Guru. So all your senses are going to be working independent of each other. That means what you got to hear, you are going to hear. अभी सेंथिल तेरे बेटे ने बोला डैडी करके, तो सुनने को तो आएगा ना कि नहीं आएगा? आएगा. So that means your senses are connected to the sense objects, are they not? Eyes, सामने ऐसा कोई गया, इधर से चिड़िया उधर गई, इधर से बटरफ्लाई उधर गया, तो दिखेगा ना मेरे को. ऐसा थोड़ी है कि नहीं दिखेगा. नो आई एम अ बुद्धा, आई कांट सी एनीथिंग. मतलब पागल आदमी है, बुद्धा को भी सब दिखता था. Only one person can't see. Do you know? Or can't hear, or can't. That person is, if you ask him, तूने देखा? नहीं, I was busy in meditation. तूने सुना? मैं तेरे को गाली दिया. नहीं, I didn't hear. That one person is called a hypocrite. Understood? The person will say, no Guruji, I was in meditation. Oh, लो कर लो बात. बोला गुरुजी को दिखता है, तेरे को नहीं दिखता है. So you have to understand. So the senses are working in the sense objects. Don't bother about it. Let them do their job. But the single pointedness means your mind is fixed on God. See, constant fixity in the yoga of meditation for the sake of self-realization. Your senses can work with the sense objects, but your mind is working in the knowing the self. And even so, charity in its sattvic form. इसके ऊपर मेरे को थोड़ा झाड़ना पड़ता है. Raj and Brito know about it. So I visited some Babaji some few days ago, and that place was so dirty, you cannot even imagine. It had over 1 million plastic bags lying all over the place. And I sat down over there and I looked. I said, the sage is staying over here, and this place is like a dump yard, you know. And the whole place had cow, गाय का टॉयलेट सब जगह पे ऐसा पड़ा था, और उसी में लोग खा रहे, पी रहे, ये कर रहे, वो कर रहे, सब चल रहा है वहां पे. तो मैंने बोला यहाँ पे लोग आते हैं मन्नत मांगने के लिए. अच्छा, मन्नत मांगने के लिए लोग आते हैं. तो वो बाबा जी को क्या दे के जाते? That Babaji is not taken bath for I think months. He's got all tangled hair like that, and he is wearing clothes which are like पता नहीं rags or something like that. So he doesn't ask for money. So I said, but the idiots who come over here, are they not asking for something? They are asking for money, they are asking for education, they are asking for wives, husbands, marriage, children, God knows all sorts of things. Can they not do something about that place? I said, shameless people, going over there, meeting that Babaji, taking from him, but not giving anything back. बोला नहीं, मैंने 1 किलो फ्रूट लाके दिया ना, वो बाबाजी फ्रूट खाते ही नहीं, बोला ले लेके जा तुम लोग सब जगह. Then what is the point in doing that? The sense of doership has to come in the person. At least pay attention to the place, get it cleaned. If you cannot donate anything to that place, see, the place was ramshackled and horrible and dirty place. At least you can do something about that place. Maybe you can donate some money. Maybe you don't have money. You can donate service over there. That is what is called seva, isn't it? You can do seva over there. You can do something about it. So I said, at least picking up these झाड़ू लगाना या जगह को ठीक रखना या फिर वहां रह के लोगों को पढ़ाना सिखाना कुछ तो करना, something could be done, no? So the seva bhavana is not there. They just want to come and eat and go. वो क्या बर्तन तुम्हारा चाचा करने वाला है क्या? I'm sorry, you have to do the seva. Seva is important. And here, and even so, charity in its sattvic form. Sattvic means, I did seva, I should get so much meva. That attitude please don't have. मैंने 10 रुपए का सेवा किया, मेरे को 100 रुपए का मेवा मिलना मांगता है. वो कोई ट्रांजैक्शन बिजनेस नहीं है वहां. So that is the reason why I told that gentleman, I said, I'm sorry. You see, we are building up something, we are building our website. Kindly contribute towards it. You are an intelligent person. You can contribute your intelligence. You can contribute something towards it. What do you mean by something? That which you know. So naturally लोगों को थोड़ा बुरा लगता है. But the fact is to remain, isn't it? If you are doing something, it's called a seva. And as a seva ki bhavana, you got to do something about it. You really don't know what is actually happening over there. Do you know this particular verse that we are doing is trying to teach you how to reach the state of the self? So the important thing is you have to do charity in the sattvic form. You have to do it because it is important to be done. And can you please leave all your crap aside and do it? No, can I have a jhadu somewhere? I'm sorry, jhadu nahi milti udhar. Bola, no, can I have a vacuum cleaner? Boss, गांव में जाके वैक्यूम क्लीनर वगैरह नहीं मिलेगा, हाथ से उठाना पड़ता है. समझा? So, control of the senses. This I already did. Let the senses work in the senses, sense objects. Don't bother about it. Controlling the senses means the connectivity between the senses and the mind needs to be cut. Worship of God and other deities as well as one's elders, including the performance of Agnihotra. We don't worship our elders at all. We always treat them like, ओ उसने अपने टाइम में सब कर लिया ना, अभी मैं करता हूँ. This is how we treat our elders. We always consider them that they have done something for themselves in their life when they were young. Am I not entitled for what I am doing just now? Of course you are entitled for it. But paying respect to elders is a very, very important thing. The elders have to be catered. God has made them frail. He has made them very, very fragile. तो उनको अगर हमने कोई सेवा की, बैठे जगह पे अगर खाना दिया या उनका कोई सेवा ऐसे किया, उसमें पुण्य मिलता है. You are definitely going to get a lot of benefits by doing seva. So, when I was talking about this same concept of ashram, what I said to everybody? Please call your parents over there. Please call all the old people. We will all take care of them. Why? Wouldn't you like yourself to be taken care of when you become old? So, you have to give this credit to them. You have to see to it that they are taken care of. And worshipping the gods and the deities. We have to give due respect to every deity. That means if there is somebody chopping off a very big tree outside your house, kindly go and stop that person. Because a deity lives in that tree. You can definitely save the trees or the plants, or you have to become friendly towards this universe also. Including the performance of Agnihotra and other sacred duties. Many a times in most of the Hindu households, I don't know about the Christians and others, but in the Hindu households we have this annual ritual of doing some pujas and all that. कभी सत्यनारायण की पूजा, कभी कोई पूजा, कोई पूजा. क्रिश्चियन में मेरे ख्याल से वो लोग भी ये लेंट सीजन और बाकी सब करते हैं. They also do. Even in the Muslims they have that month of Ramadan and all that. They definitely follow. You need to do all those things also. It is for purification purposes. Study and teaching of the Vedas and other sacred books, as well as chanting of the gods' names and praises. Once in a day, make time, even if it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes, to read the simplest of the book that you can read. It may be for a Bible, it may be a Quran, it may be that which you can understand. It may be a Sai Satcharitra, or it could be a Ramakrishna Paramahansa ka book, or Devi Mahatmyam, or any other book that you think you are quite happy with. Maybe even the Bhagavad Gita, does not matter. Make it a point of reading, 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and those who have more time can read for more amount of time. Definitely, you should find time for doing that. It will keep your mind fixed on God. That is the reason why you got to read it. Chanting of God's name. The only time I have heard people call out God's name is, "Oh Christ." कुछ लफड़ा हो गया तो बोलेगा, "Oh Christ, Jesus Christ, look at him, what the hell he is doing." अच्छा, that's the only time they take Christ's name. Otherwise, Christ किधर है मालूम नहीं. बोला संडे मास तो अपन ने छोड़ दिया. Does not matter. You can go for Sunday mass and look around for Brito Telugu बोल रहा हूँ मैं. You can look around for nice people in that area also, no problem. But at least attend the mass once. अच्छा ठीक है, काम करना, तू अकेला मत जाना, सेंथिल के बेटे के साथ जा. So what it means is, you can attend some temple or some place of holy worship. Why? It keeps your mind locked onto God. Or take the God's name. We keep on watching YouTube and all those videos and all that. YouTube is a very good medium for Mirabai's bhajans and this are both acha hai, by the way. We can definitely look into that as well. It will keep your mind locked into God, no problem. Suffering hardship for the discharge of one's sacred obligation. This is an important line. Hardships for doing your obligations. We are doing our obligations towards our family, towards our society, towards everybody. Are we not doing? Yes, we have to. We have to bring up our children, we have to make them big, we have to send them to good college, school, wherever. Plus also pay the taxes in time, see to it that everything happens. Everything has to be in clockwork precision. Why do you have to do that? It's a rin. Rin means what? Good. And the tying up of it is called rinanubandha. Have you heard of this word rinanubandha? Yes. You owe it to them. You owe it to the society. So you got to do what you got to do. So you have to do this. ये ऋण को फेडना जरूरी है. We are material worldly people. Are we not breathing this air? Are we paying for this air or what? No. We are getting nourishment from the sun. Are we paying sun for, okay sun, I am doing you sun, what Surya Namaskar, maybe once in a day I will do. बस वो सूर्य नमस्कार में है ना तो काला हो जाएगा, उससे अच्छा है ना वो सूर्य नमस्कार मत करना. तेरा टैक्सेस बिक्सेस भरेगा टाइम पे ना सब कर वो ऋण फूट जाएगा. वो ऋण को निभाना बहुत जरूरी है. वो बंधन है हमारे. So we have to fulfill that. We have to give it back to the society. And in that we have to suffer. Suffering is important. In school, I'm sure many of us have been given one big, one book. एक ऐसा book दिया है, टीचर ने बोला, over the weekend you go and sell these 20 tickets to your friends, neighbors and everybody. बोला है कि नहीं बोला? Have you all done this or no? Don't tell me you have not done. Or flag day. How many flags you all have sold? I have sold quite a lot. One day I was supposed to sell the entire, college का जो fundraising, okay? हेमा मालिनी का dance show था. I think I sold over 600 tickets. सबको जाके पहनाया. मतलब मेरे तो 600 में से 100 लोग भी नहीं आए, लेकिन and because of that I got 3 tickets free and I was sitting next to Hema Malini. So anyway, jokes aside, this have we not done? The amount of pain that you actually go through of fulfilling that, you have to go through literally a lot of sufferings to give good education to your children. You know how much pain that is? Definitely it is. To put them in a good school, put them in a good college, give them good education, take care of your grandparents, your parents, take care of all the people around you. All these things are important and they are a must because this is called a suffering and you have to do. These are hardships. To do one's sacred obligations and straightness of mind. आड़ा टेढ़ा दिमाग नहीं रखना. बोला I am taking care of my grandparents. Why? बोला उसके पास बहुत प्रॉपर्टी है इसके लिए. अरे ये straightness of mind नहीं है. This is a crooked mind. You are taking care of your grandparents because बहुत प्रॉपर्टी है, बुढ़ा मर जाएगा तो अपने को बहुत मिलेगा. No, you need to have straightness of mind as well as the body and senses. Non-violence in thought, words and deeds. Truthfulness and geniality of speech. Absence of anger even on provocation. Disclaiming doership in respect to actions, quietude or composure of mind. abstaining from malicious gossip, compassion towards all creatures, absence of attachment to the object of senses even during the contact with the senses, mildness, a sense of shame in transgressing against the scriptures or usage, and abstaining from frivolous pursuits. Can you imagine another more big list? List of do's and don'ts. This is like, what is that? 10 commandments. ये तो 10,000 commandments हो गया. No, but they are very, very important. And the Gandhiji practiced non-violence. I'm sure you have heard about Gandhiji's non-violent methods. He followed this line to the T. In thoughts, words and deeds, non-violent. What is the meaning of the word non-violent? You see, never provoke somebody. Never go and खाली फुकट का मारने का नहीं, खाली फुकट का कुछ करना नहीं. Only when it is needed. So, yes, you should never inflict pain on anyone. For no rhyme or reason, it is important. It's not important to go and provoke and get into a scrap. Non-violence does not mean मार खाते जाने का नहीं. I'm sorry. Non-violence means, can you stop that violence? You understood this? Can you make the other person who is beating you non-violent? You got this also? He is not telling you to be non-violent. He is telling you as well as the other person in front of you to be non-violent. So if somebody is causing violence, can you? No, don't go and try what that person told you, you know. वो बोले उसको भाई बना देना. नहीं, भाई भी बनाने का नहीं है. समझा? If somebody is doing something to you and you cannot take it, please don't take it. It is saying undue non-violence नहीं करना, violence मत करो. So be non-violent in these cases. Truthfulness and geniality of speech. How many times have we said white lies? Don't look at me. Yes, everybody says white lies. बोला तुम्हारे हाथ में क्या है? मेरे हाथ में कुछ नहीं है. बोला कुछ नहीं है क्या? तेरे हाथ में जेम्स है. नहीं है. देखो नहीं है. देखो दिखता. बोला तुमने मुंह में डाला. किधर है मेरे पास? Have you seen this? हम लोग बचपन में ऐसा बहुत करते थे. So non-violence के बाद truthfulness आता है. Truthfulness doesn't mean about white lies. Truthfulness means your innermost being has to say the right thing. You see, if you have guilt inside of you, then it is not the truth. Understood? Whatever you do, the truthfulness will stand out on its own. It has to stand out singly on its own. If you are going to carry guilt about that, then it becomes untruthful. Got it? You see, when a mummy says to the small child, don't touch that, उसमें है ना कीड़ा है. वो एक्चुअली उसको क्या बोल रही है कि है ना अभी खाने का टाइम नहीं है, तेरे को मैं खाने के टाइम पे दूंगी. Or she will say something, you know, there is one lizard over there in the corner, don't go there. I am afraid of lizards. Have you seen children do that? So they will not go over there. There is no lizard, but the mummy just says for the sake. You can't say mummy is untruthful. No. Mummy is truthful. Actually, she is trying to put you away from that place. So that is not called a lie. Okay? She is not guilty of lies. Correct? She is not doing it guiltily. So that which carries the guilt is not truthful. Correct? Geniality of speech. The speech has to be very genial. Genial बोलेगा तो अच्छी तरह से बात करना बहुत जरूरी है. हाँ? Absence of anger even on provocation. How many people have been provoked and got angry? Everybody does. I mean, there isn't a single person on earth who will not say that he is not angry. If he says, then he is like a pressure cooker. Someday that thing is going to burst. डुम करके और फिर उसके बाद इतना जोर का धमाका होएगा कि पूछो मत. So don't be. You have to let off steam when it is required. Got it? Let off steam when it is required. Otherwise you will get overcooked inside. So don't do that. You see, anger is not required all the time. Anger, only when it is needed, become angry. उसमें से कोई अच्छी चीज निकलने वाली है ना, तो गुस्सा करना अच्छा होता है. Do you understand what I'm saying? Only when there is something good coming out of it, get angry, does not matter. When there is something wrong coming out of it, don't get angry. Try to stay out of that. वो हम लोग पुराने जमाने में ऐसे करते थे, बोलते हैं गुस्सा आता है ना तभी 1 to 10 करने का. 1 to 10 तक आने तक एंगर चला जाता है. मेरे पास जब ये आया ना, बोला मेरे पास है ना 10 के बाद 100 तक पहुंचा, फिर भी एंगर जाता नहीं. बोला मेरा नंबर ही खत्म हो गया. और शिव जी के पास तो वैसा ही होगा शायद. So, no, anger when it is needed, you have to show anger. When it is not needed, don't get angry. That is what it means. Okay? Disclaiming doership in respect of action. मैंने किया, मैंने किया, मैंने किया, मैंने किया. छोड़ देने का मैंने किया. Quietude and composure of mind. Our mind is always going. टेबल टेनिस खेलते रहता है, पिंग पॉन्ग. उस टाइम पे उसको शांत करना बहुत जरूरी है. Quiet down. Silencing the mind. It is not silencing the mouth. It is silencing the mind that is got more value. Abstaining from malicious gossip. ऑफिस में तो बहुत चलता है ना. This verse should be pasted in every office. Stop malicious gossip. हाँ, लेकिन जब भी वो तुम लोग का पीटीसी आता है ना, वो एंड ऑफ द ईयर में, उसके बाद देखने का, वो उसकी है ना खास है, इसके लिए उसको है ना डबल मिला. अरे लेकर ले बात ऐसी पूछ. क्या malicious gossip चलता है उस टाइम पे, मजा आता है. You should hear that. Oh, he got promotion ना, उसका घर में जाके काम करता है, इसके लिए बॉस के घर में जाके काम करता है. लो कर लो बात. उसका ड्राइवर गिरी करता है, उसका नौकर है, इसके लिए उसको मिला. This is yes man. So malicious gossip happens. Compassion towards all creatures. I can have compassion towards dogs and all, but cats, I would rather murder them. Okay. Compassion towards all animals means what? You know, have you read the Sai Satcharitra? In that there is a story of a tiger. The tiger is a very ferocious animal, and this man brings the tiger to Shirdi to meet Sai Baba. And the tiger, he brings the tiger in front of Sai Baba. Everybody gets scared. Sai Baba is sitting over there. He's just looking at the animal, and the animal sits in front of Sai Baba on his fingers like this, does like this, and वहां पे वो अपने दम तोड़ देता है. He dies. That is compassion. The animal was suffering for many years, and he just needed the feet of a sage to die. And so the animal came and died over there. You know, we need to be compassionate to all kinds of creatures. I am sure you have seen when you have visited the zoo, there are the brats who are there. वो मंकी को, इसको, उसको कितना सताते हैं, देखा है कभी? You feel like pulling the monkeys out and putting these guys inside that cage. Many a time you feel like doing that because they are worse than any wild animal, you know. वो टाइगर लायन ऐसा सोया है वहां पे, उसको पत्थर मार के जगाने का, ए टिंग टिंग टिंग, क्यों जरूरी है? नहीं तो मंकी को जबरदस्ती है ना, मूंगफली ले काटू का, ले काटू का, क्यों क्यों करने का क्या? Compassion to animals, they are in cage, boss. If you are in cage and these type of animals were supposed to come and visit you every day, na, you will get into trouble. समझ में आया? तू केज के बाहर है, वो केज के अंदर है. Have some compassion for them. Even in the wild, people have no compassion. They kill elephants and tigers and this and that for their tusks and what not. It's not good. God has, you have to be compassionate to them. Absence of attachment to the object of senses even during the contact with the senses. Like I told you, the senses are working with the sense objects. I said these words. But why are you getting attached to it? बोला, you know, I want to buy the diamond. बोला अच्छा, हाँ, बोला बाजू में मिलता है ओरा पोरा ऐसा करके कुछ है, उसका लेगा? नो, आई वांट टू गो टू टिफिनीज एंड बाय. लो, टिफिनीज में डायमंड लेने का है इसको. और बोला वो बैदा किसका लेने का? बैदा का मतलब समझते हैं? बैदा बोलेगा तो एग. बोला विच एग डू यू वांट टू बाय? बोला बाजू में मिलता है, 4 रुपए को एक है. नो, आई वांट द बल्गारी एग. बोला बल्गारी का एग मांगता है. कभी देखा है बल्गारी एग? Okay, you Google it and see after this satsang. Bulgari egg, how it looks like. वो 4 रुपए में अगर मिलता रहेगा तो मेरे को भेज देना 1 डजन. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth. We have this very great stuff, you know, like I want this and I want that. iPhone. Okay. Mildness, a sense of shame in transgressing against the scripture or usage. How many times have you heard of people telling you, you know, they will come and they will correct you and they will say, कर्मण्य वाधिकार. अरे यार, मेरे को तेरा भाषा नहीं आता है. नो, कर्म किए जा, कर्म की इच्छा, मतलब फल की इच्छा मत करो. बोला अच्छा, किसने बोला है? बोला कृष्णा ने बोला है भगवद गीता में. अच्छा, बोला तुम कर्म करने का, कर्म का इच्छा नहीं करने का, एक रख के देने का लगता है, मालूम है मेरे को. बोले यूजलेस फेलो, यू आर यूजिंग द सेम भगवद गीता and saying the same words. Are you not using it for your benefit? Did you understand what I said? They are using the Bhagavad Gita for the purpose of attaining their objective. So are they not doing karma ki ichha? They have read the Bhagavad Gita. वो बोला है तुमको ऐसा छाप के देने को किसी को सामने को, सिखाने का रहता है. वो गुरु जी सिखाएगा ना, तुमको क्या करने का है. तुम जाके 50 जन को सिखाने का कोशिश मत करो. Keep your Gita to yourself. Later on, Krishna is going to say, don't talk bullshit to other people. Those who don't want to listen to it, don't talk to them. बोलेगा वो. So if somebody comes to give you some great, you know, insight into great text, you will understand that that person is after some motivation. Or he wants to tell you that you are the worst creature on earth and he is the best one. ऐसा नहीं है. Scriptures have to be given their due respect. Everybody cannot teach the scriptures. Everybody cannot talk about it. God has restricted this only to a few people. And those who have been given this command, they can teach. So, we should never transgress them. Transgressing, you know, इसका उसको लगाने का कोई जरूरी नहीं है. And their usage. Like I just now gave you an example of the usage of the scriptures. Before the start of every movie, have you noticed they are using these scriptures? तुम्हारा पिक्चर हिट होने के लिए उधर स्क्रिप्चर डालने का जरूरी क्या है? They will put Sai Baba's photo, they will put Ganesha photo, they will put all kinds of photo, and then some person somewhere will say some scripture. If you ask him, क्या बोला तूने, बोला मालूम नहीं, बॉस ने बोला है बोल के बताने का, इसीलिए मैंने बताया. And this is called the misuse of scriptures. We cannot misuse scriptures like this. Have you seen tattoos and all? इधर पीछे इधर उधर वो स्क्रिप्चर लिखते हैं, देखा है कभी? और गलत सलत जगह पे लिखते हैं. और बोलेगा, I got a tattoo at the back. It's written in that. वो क्या लिखा है मालूम है तुमको? ओम मणि पद्मे हम. बोला वो बोलने का रहता है इधर से उधर से नहीं. कैसे लोग हैं, वो ओम मणि पद्मे हम पीछे लिखा है उसने. लो कर लो बात. पद्मा you'll fall off. Yeah, others are not reading, they are doing something else. They are unveiling the scriptures. So, this type of wrong usage of the scripture should never be done. Okay? And abstaining from frivolous pursuits. IPL, ABC, पता नहीं क्या क्या सब है. बोला कितना रन्स बनाया, कौन सा क्या किया. बोला मैं गया था मैच देखने को, किधर कंटीरिवा कौन सा स्टेडियम है, पता नहीं कौन सा, चिन्ना स्वामी स्टेडियम. बोला क्या देखा, क्या आईपीएल का मैच था मालूम है, इंडिया वर्सेस समबड़ी, पता नहीं कोई था, नाइट राइडर्स वर्सेस डे राइडर्स, ऐसा कुछ तो भी था. बोला क्या कैसा मैच कैसा था. बोला बहुत अच्छा था. आया मैं उन लोग को देखने को गया था मैं. बोला आईपीएल वो देखने को जाता है आदमी, दूसरा कुछ नहीं. It is become I mean, I was reading somewhere in some blog, and there was this guy who was talking about what all is happening over there. I was wondering, ये लोग मैच देखने जाते हैं कि और कुछ करते हैं. बोला लास वेगस जाने को नहीं मिलता है, खाली गुरु को जाने को मिलता है. और इधर ही बैठ के देखेंगे चिन्ना स्वामी में लास वेगस. So
that's why I don't go to IPL.
Huh?
That's why I don't go to IPL.
Good. So those are basically frivolous pursuits which are anyway not going to lead you anywhere. Sublimity, forbearance, fortitude, external purity, bearing enmity to none, and absence of self-esteem. These are the marks of him who are born with the divine gifts, Arjuna. Now all these things, there's 2 lines that we did, huge lines that we did, plus these things, sublimity. Sublimity का मतलब कर्पूरम, sublime. We also say sublime beauty, isn't it? I'm sure you have heard this word, sublime beauty. It's purity, pristine, beautiful, absolutely like a tender, उसको sublimity बोल सकते हैं हम. तो हमारे लाइफ में वो सब्लिमिटी रहना जरूरी है. मतलब जब हम किसी से मिलते हैं, when we meet some person, if you meet a very divine person, immediately you feel blissful in this in the context when you are just उसके इर्द गिर्द जब जाते हैं ना, तो you feel that beauty in that person. Forbearance. We should be able to have this attitude of overcoming and facing issues. Where it's a question of facing issues is concerned, no? The tougher the issue, the less we want to face it. Isn't it? We want to have this ostrich mentality. Can I put my head in the sand and say there is no tiger over there? टाइगर सामने खड़ा है, फिर भी ऑस्ट्रिच क्या करता है, ऐसा मुंडी ऐसा नीचे डाल के बोल देता है मेरे को मालूम नहीं. You know, there is one other creature who does this, and there was one small joke which I'll tell you later on. You know, every time, I'll tell you the joke first. Every time somebody says you do exercise, go to the gym, do this, do that, तो उस टाइम पे है ना, पूछते हैं कि क्यों करना जरूरी है. बोला सेहत के लिए अच्छा है, लंबी जिंदगी के लिए अच्छा है. बोला कभी एक है ना ख्याल आना चाहिए, कभी तूने गालपागोस टर्टल्स को देखा है क्या? वो करता कुछ नहीं है, वो एक बरस में 1 किलोमीटर चलता है, फिर भी 350 बरस जीता है. दिस वाज द आंसर गिवन. बोला बहुत एक्सरसाइज बहुत अच्छा करता है, 1 किलोमीटर 1 बरस में चलता है, so he can live for 350 years. Forbearance. These sea creatures, you know, they have this very beautiful way of taking charge of their own self. Have you ever noticed a snail? If you try to tease it, no, it will go inside that shell of it and disappear over there. ऐसा लगेगा कि वो shell में कुछ है ही नहीं. Same way with these tortoises. Have you seen? They just pull all their thing inside and they will just become a shell and they stay there like that. और फिर धीरे से ऐसा मुंडी बाहर निकालेगा, धीरे से ऐसा पैर बाहर निकालेगा. I am not asking you to become like that. I am telling you, forbearance is important. You have to face the situations. You have to be able to forbear it. Should be able to withstand that force that is there in this world. It's only when you can do that that your next generation will be better qualified to face it, isn't it? Otherwise, if you run away today, you know, your own children, your own grandchildren will not want to face it. If Arjuna would have run away from the battlefield, do you think Arjuna's son or the future generation would have done that? No. So it's important to face. Fortitude, external purity, bearing enmity to none and absence of self-esteem. Dridhta, I think that's the word, isn't it? How to have that? Then, किसी से वैर नहीं करना. Don't have enmity towards anybody. That doesn't mean Hindu, बोले इंडिया चीनी बाय बाय, पाकिस्तान इंडिया बाय बाय, ऐसा कहने का मतलब नहीं है. You see, everybody has got their own way of life. Okay, I can't eat Chinese, and Chinese can't eat Indian food, boss. उसको उसका खाने दे, मेरे को मेरा खाने दे. दूर से हाय बाय करना बहुत अच्छा है, जाके उंगली करने का और बोलने का कि है ना नहीं तूने ऐसा खाया किया, ये वो जरूरी नहीं है. एनिमिटी नहीं करने का, वैसे दूर से अच्छे. और दिस इज अ गुड एग्जांपल फॉर आवर रिलेटिव्स. यू नो, हाय हाउ आर यू, हाउ इज योर चाइल्ड, हाउ इज दिस वन, हाउ इज दैट वन, लंबे से करने का. तो फाइन, नाइस मीटिंग यू. नहीं तो क्या होता है, अपना प्रीवियस लाइन आ जाता है, इसी कैन बी गॉसिप. बोला तूने कंगन किधर से लिए? Oh, you took it from that Chemmanur, very nice. I have to tell you, I bought it from Chennai. Chennai, very good jeweler. ले चालू हो गया इन लोग का, मतलब गॉसिप. कोई जरूरी नहीं है. दूर से हाय बाय, ओके वेरी नाइस मीटिंग यू। बोला अब मेरे बेटे की शादी हो गई, अभी तेरे बेटे की शादी में मैं आऊंगा, हो गया। बोला तूने 500 रुपए का दिया, मैं भी तेरे को 500 रुपए का देगा। Have you seen that? We always keep track of what other fellow has given. और लिख के रखते हैं, क्योंकि रिटर्न रिटर्न करने का रहता है ना, रिटर्न गिफ्ट। लेकिन ये कभी नहीं सोचते कि है ना 500 रुपए का गिफ्ट दिया, लेकिन है ना 10 जन गए थे खाना खाने को। वो इनइक्वालिटी नहीं देखते हम लोग। So, an absence of self-esteem, हमारे घर की शान है, हमारे घर की परंपरा है। बोला परंपरा शान भी नहीं, सब मालूम नहीं अपने को। ये ठीक लगा ये किया, नहीं ठीक लगा छोड़ दिया। तो सेल्फ एस्टीम नहीं रखने। फिर उसके बाद क्या है? These are the marks of those who are born with the divine gifts. Now we are going to come to the reverse of it. Hypocrisy, arrogance, pride, anger, sternness and ignorance. These are the marks of whom who are born with demonic properties. I just before this I was describing about hypocrite, isn't it? How is a hypocrite behaving? I'm sure, hypocrisy is one of the greatest attributes of most of human beings. मतलब हमारे घर में ऐसा सब नहीं होता। हम लोग एकदम पक्के। अच्छा, हमारे यहाँ नहीं होता। वो वही कर रहा है जो उसने दूसरे ने किया, लेकिन थोड़ा स्टाइल अलग है। The sweets. Have you ever tasted any of these sweets? Most of the sweets, they are made of milk. वो मिल्क का खोया बनाते हैं, देखा है कभी? खोया बोला, खवा बोलते हैं, खोया बोलते हैं। कोई मिल्क को गाढ़ा बनाता है, कोई मिल्क को फाड़ देता है, उसको बोलते हैं वो पनीर। इट्स द सेम स्टफ। So even if somebody says I am not a hypocrite, किधर से घूम घाम के उधर आएगा वो। But what are we trying to say? The person who is on the spiritual path is not a hypocrite. Means what? If you are a hypocrite, accept it, no? Acceptance will never come, man. I am not a hypocrite. No, accept it. Yes, I am. Sometimes I have to behave like this. ये जो एक्सेप्टेंस है ना, ये आना बहुत जरूरी है आदमी में, तो वो बड़प्पन होता है। एरोगेंस एंड प्राइड। एरोगेंस तो बच्चे लोगों में से इतना भरा रहता है ना, और बड़े होके तो जो बड़े एरोगेंट बन जाते। बोला उसने किया ना तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकता। बोला तू क्यों नहीं कर सकता का मतलब क्या है? बोला उसने कचरा डाला इसीलिए मैं भी कचरा डालेगा। अभी बिफोर वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट अ प्लेस कॉल्ड धारावी, राइट? धारावी is one of the most populous places in Mumbai, but one of the richest places over there. But it's a shanty town. Now think about it. वहां पे एरोगेंट बनना और वहां पे प्राइड रखना चलेगा क्या? होता है? नहीं है। लेकिन जो बड़े बड़े घरों में, बड़े बड़े जगह में अच्छा अच्छा पैसा होता है, तभी एरोगेंस एंड प्राइड इज अ पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ द बिग नोट्स। 1000 रुपीज एंड अबाउ नोट्स है ना, उसके अबाउ नोट्स एरोगेंस एंड प्राइड आता है। $1 million note, there was one movie you should see like that. The more the 1000 rupee notes, the more the 500 rupee note, the more arrogant a person is and the more pride he has got. And that falls under these demonic properties. Anger, sternness and ignorance too. What kind of anger? No rhyme or reason the person gets angry. He doesn't require any reason to get angry. He doesn't require any reason to become stern. Hey, sit down. Hey. हमारे बचपन में हम लोगों ने वो टीचर लोग देखा है ना, किसी एक लड़के के हाथ में एक केन देके बोलते ए जा जाके मॉनिटर गिरी करना, तो वो स्टर्ननेस बताने के लिए आता है कि नहीं आता है? It's like that. When authority comes in place, sternness and arrogance and pride and everything falls in place. You become all that. And ignorance also comes. What kind of ignorance comes? You actually move away from God. First, you don't even know the truth about yourself. Second, you are bothered about who you are in the material world. You are bothered about making money. You are bothered about your house. You are bothered about your family. You are bothered about what you are doing, how you are making, what kind of assets you have. These are the things that come in your way. And that is what builds up the ignorance. You start giving yourself all the qualities that are associated with all these things. All these entire things. Anger, hypocrisy, this, that, ये सब बोला ना, ये ignorance बनाता है बहुत अच्छे से. These are the marks of demonic properties. The divine endowment has been recognized as conducive to liberation, and the demonic ones as leading to bondage. Grieve not, Arjuna, for you are born with the divine propensities. So the first 3 lines were talking about the divine qualities of a person. The next 2 lines were talking about the demonic qualities of a person. These divine endowments will lead you towards God. They will give you liberation. Whereas the demonic properties will bind you up. They will put you in a bondage. Today in the morning, we were talking about liberation and bondage. I am going to give a small idea about liberation and bondage, the way we were talking about in the morning. So now let us see what liberation and bondage means. Now, inside this, do you know what this is? I'm sure I may not be a great artist, but it looks like one pinjara, no? Have you ever kept a parrot at home? No? Or some bird? No? Now, my drawing is very nice. Now I am going to describe what is the meaning of the word bondage and what is the meaning of the word liberation. Remember, we are always free. We are always free. We are like this bird fellow. But we are always free. We are flying all over the place. We ourselves decide, I want to go and sit in this pinjara, golden pinjara. Okay? I want to sit inside this golden cage. What is the golden cage? I want to get married, I want to have children, I want to have this, I want to have that. So this person decides, I want to get trapped inside this. A marriage is like this golden pinjara. The bird comes inside on his own. He comes inside on his own. I want to get married. And he sits inside this pinjara, and along one more. two parrots. Okay, he sits with one other parrot. He is catching that jhula which is there. That jhula is the red color thing that I have drawn. And he is keeping on shaking and he's saying, I am trapped inside, I am trapped inside, I am trapped inside, I am trapped inside. He's sitting with his other chidiya also, by the way. We always like to do this in our life. We like to always get captured in the golden dream world of ours. Sit inside one pinjara and say, we are bound, we are bound, we are bound, we are bound. There is one window over here, by the way, and that window is lying open always. That door that is there now, that pinjara is always open. There is no door actually. We ourselves create our own bondage. We say we are bound, and so we get bound. But if you know you are free, you will always be free. There is no pinjara. Because there is no door over there. It's always lying open. Why do you think you are bound? What makes you think that you have to report to the other chidiya inside it, over there? वो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर है क्या तुम्हारा वो क्या पूछता रहेगा मन में? तूने कितना मिर्ची खाया, तूने कितना पेरू खाया, वही पूछता है. और दूसरा क्या पूछेगा? वो बोला मिर्ची खाया, पेरू खाया, उसके अलावा पूछता क्या है चाहिए वो दूसरा? How was your day? Oh, I was swinging full day. I am a swinger. बोला अच्छा. Yeah. What were you doing? I was also swinging the whole day. Why? Because we are in this cage together. ये हमारा जिंदगी है. We always trap ourselves in our own world, and then we say we are in bondage, we are in bondage, we are in bondage. Whereas there is no such bondage. There is no such bondage. You were born free. You are always free. There is no door anywhere or window to hold you up. You build that golden cage yourself. You build your own bondages. You tie yourself up in, you tie yourself up in all your world. And then you say to the world, see, you put me in the cage. बोला मेरे माँ बाप ने मेरी शादी करा के दी. I mean, very good to say that. वो बोला जैसे कि है ना वो चिड़िया पकड़ने वाला कोई तो भी है. बोला तेरे को खोपड़ी नहीं है. I am not saying that you should not get married. What I am saying is you are ever free. Who told you you are bound? Okay, freedom का मतलब ये नहीं कि दूसरा कोई पैरेट मिला तो उसके साथ जाने का. ऐसा नहीं. उसका मतलब वो नहीं है. इसका मतलब ये है have the freedom. Think you are free. Remain free. You will always be happy. For the stupidest things in the world, there is a reporting authority. You don't need to have that. If there is something which is not wrong, you remember all the previous lines that we did in which it was mentioned what is right and what is wrong. It's mentioned over there. You're not doing anything wrong. Then what is the harm in being free? You are free, isn't it? You're not doing anything wrong. So now do you understand this line? The divine endowments have been recognized as conducive to liberation. If you have all the divine qualities that we mentioned in the first 3 lines, then you are conducive to liberation. Whereas the rest of the qualities, that is going to lead you to bondage. And so he says to Arjuna, you are anyway born with all the good ones. There are 2 types of men in this world. Arjuna, the one possessing a divine nature, another possessing a demonic disposition. Of this, the type possessing divine nature has been dealt with at length. Now here in detail from me about the type possessing demonic disposition. So there are two kinds of people in this world. One who is a demonic disposition and one who is a divine disposition. So we are going to discuss about the demonic disposition. Men possessing a demonic disposition know not what is right activity and what is right abstinence from activity. Hence they possess neither purity, external or internal, nor good conduct, nor even truthfulness. Now we will try to understand this verse. It's a very important verse from our today's material perspective. What is the meaning of the word right activity and right abstinence from activity? Right activity is that which leads us to God. Right abstinence of activity is again that which leads us to God. Abstaining from doing something which is going to lead us to the demonic disposition. What it should be avoided. That which leads us to God is the right activity. What is it that leads us to God? What is it that leads us to the divine disposition? What is it that leads us to divinity? That, please understand, this is the basic understanding you got to have. That which leads you to God is called the divine, and that which leads you away, that means abstinence of those things which are not good. That is, that which is not leading us to God. We should avoid those activities. Now, some examples. You see, we are sitting in a satsang. Does this lead us to God? Of course it leads us. वही अगर 3 पत्ती खेल रहे होते तो 3 पत्ती समझता है, गुड, और वो सत्संग रहता था तो बोला तेरे पास राजा है क्या? मेरे पास 3 इक्के है। चला तेरे पास तो 3 दिया है, चलता है क्या? बोला चलता नहीं है। ये जो बातें होती है, दिस इज नॉट लीडिंग यू टू गॉड एनीवे। This is leading you more towards a big dead hole in the pocket and hole in the heart also, because God is disappearing from there. No, in a satsang, which is a good activity which is being done, which is the knowledge about the truth, knowledge about God, is going to lead us to God alone. But the same thing, there is one other activity which a person does, which doesn't lead him to God. Sitting with the devil. Now you'll ask me, when did I sit with the devil? Don't you know that there is a devil inside of you called the mind? You see, you sit with the devil in your mind, no? Your mind is the biggest devil of all, by the way. एक जगह पे बैठ के सोच के देखो, वो तुमको है ना जापान से लेके अमेरिका तक घुमा के आएगा, और बोलेगा वन टूर नहीं, बोला 50 टूर लगा के आएगा. The fastest thing on planet is faster than light, faster than Superman. Is your mind, and he is the devil. The day you sit with your mind, no, you are going to lead against God. That means what? Every time when you give your mind a chance to talk, it is going to talk bullshit and nonsense. So, keep your mind on God. Have satsangs. Read good stuff. Keep yourself pure and clean. All that it means. So this big devil, the 3 पत्ती से बड़ा devil है वो. So, now you understand what is the right activity? That which leads you to God. So every thought Even your mind has to lead you to God, not towards going down. In the right abstinence, you should be able to say no when it is required. बोला सब जन पी रहे थे, मेरे सामने गिलास रखा, बोला तू पीता नहीं, लेकिन ये थोड़ा सा मान नहीं, इतना सा जी नहीं रे, कुछ नहीं होता है, इतना सा है, क्वार्टर है, क्वार्टर क्वार्टर नहीं, क्या बोलने का उसको, छोटा सा डाल के देता हूँ, एक गे एक कच्चे, कुछ नहीं होएगा। अरे मैं तो पूरा बाटली मारता हूँ, तभी मेरे को थोड़ा ऐसा ऐसा होता है, तो इतना सा मारेगा तो कुछ नहीं होएगा। I mean, can you abstain from that? You should be able to say no when the time is right. To abstain from doing something which is going against your inner grain. Inner grain समझता है? अंदर जो है ना, उसे गलत सलत जगह पे जाने के टाइम पे नो बोलने को आना बनता है. You should be able to say no. So that is what is called abstinence from activity. The right abstinence. Stay away from things which are going to pull you down, which will take you away from the goodness that is you. Hence they possess neither purity, external or internal, neither good nor conduct or even truthfulness. So these type of people, they don't have purity, or they have good conduct or even truthfulness. Men possessing of demonic disposition say this world is without any foundation, absolutely unreal and godless, brought forth by the mutual union of the male and the female, and hence conceived in lust. What else can this be? You know how many times you have been told by your own parents, मैंने तुमको पैदा किया. Is it the lust that has given rise to me? Is lust the reason for my being over here? God has made me. Please just use your bodies. This knowledge is important. There is no union between a male and a female that this has been born. Sorry. Again, when we have children, don't say, I have given birth to you. हम वो जो एकदम क्लासिक डायलॉग हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, क्लासिक डायलॉग हिंदी पिक्चर में भी रहता है. हिंदी पिक्चर का डायलॉग बोलने का तो सबके मुंह पे है ना स्माइल आता है थोड़ा, बोला आ गया हिंदी पिक्चर इधर. बोला कसम पैदा करने वाले की. So anyway, हमने तुम्हें पाल पोस के बड़ा किया, अब तुम्हें ये हमें सिरा दे रहे हो. ले, ये डायलॉग कितनी बार फिल्म में सुना है. बोला पाल पोस के तुमको हमने जन्म दिया और तुम हम ये रिटर्न कर रहे हो. फर्स्ट let us get this out of mind. No, I'm sorry, I came from your body doesn't mean I am a child. Okay, like I said, last time, वो प्लास्टिक का मोल्डिंग मशीन थोड़ी बोलेगा दी इज माय बेबी, ऐसा करके नहीं बोल सकता. So those who are of vile nature, those who are of demonic properties, they do not believe that God is the one who has given birth to them. They believe their parents have given birth. They say world is without any foundation. बोला वर्ल्ड में कोई भगवान नहीं है, कोई नहीं है. दिस इज मोर ऑन एथिस्टिक वैल्यूज. एथिज्म के ऊपर ये ज्यादा टिप्पणी है. They believe in atheism. Those who are atheists, they have this particular way of looking at life. They will say that, no, science gave me birth. My mother and father, the sperm and the egg, and वो पूरा हिस्ट्री बताएंगे. राज क्या हो गया, तकलीफ हो गई? But I am telling the truth. You are the scientist. इसीलिए आड़ा टेढ़ा बना के रख देते हैं भगवान ने इसको. बोला ये ऐसा सीधा से बैठने को भी नहीं देगा. I'm sorry, but that was a mean remark. But that is the truth. So, clinging to the false views that slow-witted men of wild disposition and terrible deeds, enemies of mankind, prove equal only to the destruction of the universe. Clinging to this false view. What is this false view? This line is important. Can we read it again? Clinging to this false view, these slow-witted men of wild disposition and terrible deeds, enemies of mankind, prove equal only to the destruction of the universe. So such type of people are responsible for getting the whole universe go down. Because they have always told us that मैंने तुमको पैदा किया, मैंने तुमको ये किया. You know, we always bow down. This is something which we have always done. किसी के ऋण में आके आदमी कितना झुकता है देखा है? Have you seen? किसी के ऋण में means when we owe something to somebody, the person bends backwards to see that the ऋण can be given back. In the villages and all, there is this headman who will give some 5,000 or 10,000 rupees किसी के बच्चे के शादी के लिए कुछ भी करने के लिए देता है और उसको वो आदमी पूरा लाइफ भर उसके ऋण के अंदर दब के he is doing सेवा to that person. That's a wild man. First and foremost, you have to have this complete attitude change. You know what? Yes, there is no obligation in the world. Understand this. Nobody is obliged to anybody. Please understand this. Nobody is obliged to any other person in this world. God is the doer. He is the one. He is used idiots like you to give me something. Understand? Who has given this? Some person will say, मैंने दिया, मैंने बड़ा किया, मैंने किया. बोला तेरे जैसे है ना ढक्कन लोग को भगवान यूज करता है मेरे को देने के लिए. So please don't have this obligation in mind. But understand this one thing for sure. You are equally a channel. You are also a channel just like this other person. आगे करने का है, आगे. समझ में आया? खुद जमा करके नहीं रखने का. You know, ये अभी मैं आपको एक डायग्राम बताता हूँ. This is like a pipeline. This is one portion, this is another portion, this is another portion, this is another portion, this is another portion. These are different portions of pipeline. Every one is one pipeline. Small bits. We are doing it for our future generation. We are not supposed to hold. सोच लो पानी आ रहा है इधर से, पानी आया और ये तुम हो. This is you. You know, you can put a block over here and say, I am not going to allow the water to go ahead. इधर का पाइप ने भेजा आगे, तुम बोलते हो मैं नहीं देगा आगे, चलेगा? You have to pass it on. Let the next generation, let the next generation keep on getting the flow. The flow is driven by God alone. He is using you as a conduit or a pipe. Conduit, you understand? जिसमें से वायर्स जाती है वगैरह, वो पानी जाता है, वो पाइपलाइन हो. तुम भी पाइपलाइन हो. तुमको आगे करना जरूरी है. तुम खुद को ठुस के रखोगे ना तो हजम नहीं होएगा. एक दिन है ना ऊपर वाला आके इनो देगा तुम लोगों को. वो पाइपलाइन खोल डालेगा, बोला जाओ आगे. So this is what it means. The demonic person always believes that he's become very greedy in life. So don't come under any obligation and never think you are obliging anybody. Never think you are obliging anybody. Don't किसी का ऑब्लिगेशन लिया और किसी को दिया, ऐसा नहीं होता है. वो भगवान देता है, सब भगवान देता है. भगवान आगे करने को बोलता है, तुम आगे करते रहने का. होल्ड मत करो. डोंट होल्ड फॉर टुमारो. God has made provisions for everybody in this world. You know, we have to live like a bird. In the spiritual, we always say, live like a bird. Understand? Bird is, the bird doesn't say, ये मैं कल के लिए या परसों के लिए रखेगा खाना. नहीं, और उस दिन का खाना उस दिन वो खाता है, और उस दिन जाके बाहर जाके ढूंढ के लाके फिर खाता है, और अपने बच्चों को भी खिलाता है. और एक दिन भी भगवान ने उसको भूखा रखा नहीं है. याद रखो, इस दुनिया में कोई भी भूखा नहीं रहेगा. Why? Because God has made provisions somewhere or the other. We don't know, but it is our duty to search for those provisions. It is our duty to go and get them. So going and getting them is your job. So you got to go and search for what you have to go and get it for. So don't stop the water flow. Let it continue. Okay? So now do you understand how they bring about destruction to the universe? By stopping the flow of goodness ahead. They stop the flow of this to the universe. Cherishing insatiable desires and embracing false doctrines through ignorance, these men of impure conduct move in the world full of hypocrisy, pride and arrogance. So such type of people who stop the flow of God's goodness everywhere, what do? They keep on telling the whole world, I am the doer, मैंने किया. Arrogance, hypocrisy, सब आ जाता है उनमें. So why? Because they have insatiable desires. मेरे पास पानी रहना जरूरी है, दूसरा गया भाड़ में. No, you have to spread it out. You have to give it to everything. Let the whole world get fed, because God is the doer at the end of the day. So spread it out. So don't have insatiable desires. Whereas this person who is a demonical nature has got insatiable desires and embraces false doctrines. So he goes about embracing false doctrines. What are the false doctrines? Make more money. बोला? सुना है कि नहीं सुना है? More profits, more gains, more money, more prosperity. These are false doctrines. How do the false doctrines come? Because of ignorance. The more the merrier. You must have heard of these words. The more the merrier. ज़्यादा आएगा तो ज़्यादा मजा आएगा. Look. These men of impure conduct move in this world full of hypocrisy, pride and arrogance. So they move about in this world full of hypocrisy, pride and arrogance. We'll do V11. Giving themselves up to innumerable cares, ending only in death, they remain devoted to the enjoyment of sensuous pleasures and are positive in their belief that this is the highest limit of joy. So such type of people think making more money, gathering more and more, having more prosperity, having more money in the banks, having wealth, naam, shohrat, I am famous, I am on third page, I am on first page, I do this, ye, wo, ribbon cutting ceremony, joining all sorts of movements in the world. For what? So that their name, fame, they become greater and greater. Such type of people are of demonical qualities. So they don't care a damn about people. They care a damn about only themselves. They're very selfish in nature. They only care about their own self. So such type of people, when does this all end? It ends only at death. They remain devoted till death to these enjoyments of sensuous pleasures. Okay. Sensuous pleasures can be of all kinds, to the body, to the mind, and to everything. Senses, pleasures, to all kinds of senses. And they are positive in their belief. And this is the highest limit of joy. That which is appealing to the senses, that which gives pleasure to the senses, is of the highest kind of joy which they get. This is what the person of demonical qualities says. Okay, we will end over here, and tomorrow we will do the balance to 24. Okay. Alright. So is there any question? You can ask. No question?